bleeding cow!
How is he? Is he coming out?
Awesome, Mother.
What's the matter? What is it, John?
They want pillows.
Anything I can do, Miss Preen? No, thank you.
Don't call yourself a doctor in my presence.
4 more cablegrams and packages. Dad is just going crazy upstairs with that balcony all the time.
I'll hear it. June, will you go? Richard, what were you saying?
What? From New York? From San Francisco?
There was something from Alaska early this morning.
Does we have bird radio?
Yes.
Who
Who is it? Yes, that's right.
He wants a Players Club cigarettes.
Players Club.
They have them at Kitchener's. I'll go grab them.
Hello. Tell me, Miss Reid, are they bringing him out soon?
They're getting him out.
Yes, I'm waiting.
He'll be out very soon. Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. He must be very happy.
Trapped like a rat in this hellhole.
2 o'clock? I think we can talk then. All right. What do you think that was? Mr. H.G. Wells from London. H.G. Wells on our telephone. I'll get it, Mother. This certainly is a busy house. I got his orange juice. Oh, that's fine, Sarah. Is it fresh? Yes, ma'am.
You move like a broken down truck load.
Oh, his voice is just the same as on the radio. Good morning. Oh, what do you think? He's getting up and coming out this morning. You told me. Can we see him? Why, of course he'd love it. Do you know what just happened? I'll be upstairs, Mother, if you need me. Oh, June, tell your father he better come down with you. Mr. Whiteside is coming out. Yes, Mother. Is he really coming out this morning? I got him a plant. Do you think I could give it to him? Why, I think that would be lovely. And some castle of jelly? Why, how nice. Do you know who just telephoned? H.G. Wells from London. And look at those cablegrams. He's had calls and messages from all over this country and Europe, and the New York Times, Felix Frankfurter, Dr. Default, the Novelist and Observatory. I just can't tell you what's been going on. I'm simply exhausted. There's a piece about it in this week's Times. Have you seen it? No, really. Your name's in it too, Daisy. Listen. Portly, Sheridan, Whiteside. Critic, lecturer, wit, radio orator, intimate friend of the great and near great. Last week found his celebrated wig no weapon with which to combat an injured hip. The Falstaffian Mr. Whiteside, trekking across the country on one of his annual lecture tours, met his Waterloo in the shape of a small piece of ice on the doorstep of Mr. and Mrs. Ernest W. Stanley of Azalea, Ohio. Result: canceled lectures and disappointment to thousands of adoring club women in Omaha, Denver, and points west. Further result: the idol of the airways dressed until further notice in the home of surprised Mr. and Mrs. Stanley. Possibility: Christmas may be postponed this year. What does that mean? A small piece of ice on the doorstep of Mr. and Mrs. Oh, think of it. Of course, if it was my house, Daisy, I would have left the bronze plate right where he fell. Well, of course I felt terrible about it. He never burst into anywhere, and he finally agreed to come here. And then this had to happen. Poor Mr. Whiteside. But it will be so wonderful having him here, even for a little while. Just think of it. We'll sit around in the evenings and discuss plays and books and all the great people he knows. And he'll talk in that wonderful way of his. He may even read goodbye Mr. Chips does.
Daisy, I can't wait any longer. If Mr. Whiteside is... Oh, good morning.
Good morning. Ernest, he's getting up any minute at H.G. Wells' telephone from London, and we're in time. Look.
I don't like this kind of publicity at all, Daisy. When do you suppose he's going to leave?
Well, he's only getting up this morning. After all, he's had quite a shock, and he's been in bed for 2 full weeks. He'll certainly have to rest a few days, Ernest.
Well, I'm sure it is a great honor his being in the house, but it is a little upsetting. Phone going off the time, bells ringing, messenger boys running in and out.
Pardon me, Mrs. Stanley. Have those cigarettes come yet?
Oh, why, my son went for them. Thank you. This is Miss Cutler, Mr. Whiteside's secretary.
How do you do? May I move this chair?
You mean he's coming out now?
He is indeed.
He's coming out? Oh, June, Mr. Whiteside's coming out.
Sarah, Mr. Whiteside is coming out.
I'm so excited, I just don't know what to do. Me too, I know, simply just... Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, everybody. Everything is very bright. Miss Preen, bring out our patient, please.
I may vomit.
Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. I'm Mrs. Ernest Stanley. Remember? And this is Mr. Stanley.
How do you you do, sir. I hope you're feeling better.
Thank you. I'm suing you for $150,000.
What? How's that?
I said I'm suing you for $150,000.
You mean because you fell on our steps, Mr. Whiteside?
The Samuel J. Leibowitz will explain it to you in court. Who is that harpy standing there like the kiss of death?
Oh dear! My cast of jelly!
Made from your own foot, I have no doubt. And now, Mrs. Stanley, I have a few small matters to take up with you. Since this corner druggist at my elbow tells me that I shall be confined to this moldy mortuary for at least another 10 days, due entirely to your stupidity and negligence, I shall have to carry on my activities as best I can. I shall require the exclusive use of this room, as well as that drafty sewer which you call the library. I want no one to come in or out while I'm in this room.
What do you mean, sir?
We have to use the steps to get to our rooms, Mr. Whiteside.
Isn't there a back entrance?
Why, yes.
Then use that. I shall also require a room for my secretary, Miss Cutler. Let me see. I shall have a great many incoming and outgoing calls, so please do not use the telephone. I sleep until noon and must have quiet for the house until that hour. There'll be 5 for lunch today. Where's the cook?
If I may interrupt you for a moment, sir.
You may not, sir. Will you get your clammy hand off my chair? You have the touch of a sexed-off cobra. And now, will you all please leave quietly, or must I ask my secretary to pass among you with a baseball bat?
Well, goodbye, Daisy. I'll call you. Oh, we mustn't use the phone. I'll see you. Goodbye.
Now look here, Mr. Whiteside.
There's nothing to discuss, sir. Considering the damage I've suffered at your hands, I'm asking very little. Good day.
I'll call you from the office later, Daisy.
And not on this phone, please. Here's the menu for lunch.
But I already ordered lunch.
It will be sent out to you on a tray. I'm using the dining room for my guests. Where are those cigarettes?
What? My son went for them. I don't know what, Sarah? Here's the menu for lunch. I'll have mine upstairs on a tray.
Young lady, I cannot stand indecision. Will you either go up those stairs or come down them? Hello, Mr. Whiteside. Here are those cigarettes. Sorry I was so long. I had to go to 3 different stores. You were gone long enough to have a baby. Is there a man in the world who suffers as I do from the gross inadequacies of the human race? Where are you going? Go in and read the life of Florence Nightingale and learn how unfitted you are for your chosen profession.
I think I can leave you when Miss Cutler's capable and shall I look at you this afternoon?
If you do, I shall spit right in your eye.
Oh, what a sense of humor you writers have. By the way, I've been doing a little writing myself about my medical experiences.
Am I to be spared nothing?
Would it be too much for me to ask you to glance over it while you're here?
Trapped.
Well, I just happen to have a copy with me. The story of a humble practitioner, or 40 years, a doctor.
I shall drop everything.
Thank you. And I will look on you later on and take care of that hip and take those little pills. Bye.
Maggie, will you take 40 years below the navel or whatever it's called?
Well, I must say, you certainly have behaved with all your accustomed grace and charm.
Look here, puss. I'm in no mood to discuss my behavior, good or bad. I had no desire to cross this cheerless threshold. I was hounded and battered into it. I now find myself, after 2 weeks of racking pain, accused of behaving without charm. What would you have me do? Kiss them?
Very well, Sherry. After 10 years, I should have known better than to try and do anything about your manners. But when I finally give up this job, I may write a book about it all. Through the years with Prince Charming.
Listen, repulsive. You're tied me with an umbilical cord made of piano wire. And now, if we may dismiss the subject of my charm, for which, incidentally, I receive $1,500 per appearance, perhaps we can get to work. Oh, no, we can't. Yes?
My name's Harriet Stanley. I know you're Sheridan Whiteside. I saw this holly framed green against the pine trees. I remembered what you had written about Tess and Jude the Obscure. It was the nicest present I could bring you.
For God's sake, what was that?
That was Mr. Stanley's sister, Harriet. I've spoken to her a few times. She's quite strange.
Strange. She's right out of the Hound of the Baskervilles. You know, I've seen that face before somewhere.
Nonsense, you couldn't have.
Oh, well, let's get down to work. Here, press this in the doctor's book. I see no reason why I should endorse maid-informed brassieres.
Here's some telegrams.
What date is this?
December 10th.
I'll send a wire to Columbia Broadcasting. You can schedule my Christmas Eve broadcast from the New York studio, as I shall return east instead of proceeding to Hollywood. Stop. For the special New Year's Eve broadcast, we'll have as my guest Yasha Heifetz, Catherine Cornell, Scaparelli, the Luntz, and Dr. Alexis Krall, with Heidi Selassie on shortwave from England. Whiteside.
Are you sure you'll be all right by Christmas, Sherry?
Of course I will. We'll send a cable to Mahatma Gandhi, Bombay, India. Dear Boo-Boo, schedule change. Will you meet me at Calcutta July 12th, dinner 8:30, Whiteside. Wire to the editor of Atlantic Monthly. Do not worry, Stinky. Copy will arrive. Whiteside. Arturo Toscanini, where is he?
I'll find him.
Counting on you, January 4th, Metropolitan Opera House. Annual benefit home for paroled convicts. As you know, this is a very worthy cause and close to my heart. Tibbet, Grethberg, Martinelli, and Flogstad have promised me personally to appear. Will you have quiet supper with me and Ethel Barrymore afterwards? Whiteside. If that's for Mrs. Stanley, tell her she's too drunk to talk.
Hello? What? Hollywood?
If it's gold one, hang up.
Hello, Banjo!
Banjo, give me the phone.
Banjo, you look so-and-so. How are you, darling?
Come on, give me
Shut up, Sherry. Are you coming east, Banjo? I miss you. Oh, he's going to live.
Stop dribbling and give me the
He's
phone.
screaming at me now. Here he is.
How are you, you farms behind? And what are you giving me for Christmas? No, I'm all right. Yes, I'm in very good hands. I've got the best horse doctor in town. Well, how's the picture coming? Well, how are Wacko and Sloppo? Well, what about you, Banjo? Having any fun? Or playing cribbage? What? Oh, well, don't take all this money. Leave a little bit for me. You're what? Having your portrait painted by who? Milk Rose? Not really. No, I go back to New York from here. I'm there for 12 days and then I go to Dartmouth for the drama festival. You wouldn't understand. Well, I can't waste my time talking to Hollywood riffraff. Kiss Llewellyn Parsons for me. Goodbye. He took $1,400 from Sam Golden at cribbage last night, and Sam said, Banjo, I'll never play garbage with you again.
What's all this about his having his portrait painted?
Salvador Dali. That's all that face of his needs, a surrealist to paint it. Oh. What do you want now, Miss Bedpan?
It's your pills. One every 45 minutes.
Well, where were we?
Here's a cable from that friend of yours, Lorraine Sheldon.
Let me see.
Sherry, my poor sweet lamb. I've been in Scotland on a shooting party with Lord and Lady Kennard, and only just heard of your port. I'm down here in Surrey with Lord Bottomley, sailing Wednesday on the Normandie, and cannot wait to see my poor sweet Sherry. Your blossom girl, Lorraine.
In the words of the master, I may vomit.
Mustn't be bitter, Puss, just because Lorraine is more beautiful than you are.
Lorraine Sheldon is a very fair example of that small but vicious circle you move in.
Pure sex jealousy if I ever saw it. Give me the rest of those.
Lorraine Sheldon, Lord Bottomley, my Aunt Fine.
Ah, it's from Destiny's Top.
England's little Grover boy.
Dear baby's breath, what's this I hear about a hip fracture in some bordello brawl? Does this mean our Hollywood Christmas party is off? Finished the new play in Pango Penguin, it's superb. Myself and a ukulele in Honolulu tomorrow, in that order. By the way, the Sultan of Zanzibar wants to meet Ginger Rogers. Let's face it, Oscar Wilde.
He certainly does travel, doesn't he? You know, it would be nice if the world revolved around Beverly Carlton for a change.
Well, Hollywood next week. Why couldn't he stop by on his way to New York? Send him a cable. Beverly Carlton, Royal Hawaiian Hotel, Honolulu. If these people in town have their friends use the front door.
What do you want them to do? Use a rope ladder?
I will not have a bunch of mildewed pus bags rushing in and out while
Oh, good morning, Mr. Jefferson.
Good morning, John.
No one's home. The Stanleys have been arrested for white slavery. Go away.
Good morning, Mr. Whiteside. I'm Jefferson of the Salient Journal.
Get rid of him.
I'm sorry, Mr. Whiteside is seeing no one.
Really?
So will you please excuse us? Good day.
No, Mr. Whiteside seems to be sitting up and taking notice.
I'm afraid he's not taking notice of the Mikaela Journal. Do you mind?
If I'm going to be insulted, I'd like it to be by Mr. Whiteside himself. I never did like carbon copies.
Touche, if I ever heard one. And in Mikaela too, Maggie dear.
Will you please leave?
How about the interview, Mr. Whiteside?
I never give them. Go away.
Mr. Whiteside, if I don't get this interview, I lose my job.
Well, that'll be quite all right with me.
You don't need that, Mr. Whiteside. You used to be a newspaper man yourself. You know what editors are like. Well, mine's the toughest that ever lived.
You won't get around me that way. If you don't like it, get off the paper.
Well, yes, but I happen to think it's a good paper. William Allen White could have got out of Victoria, but he didn't.
You have the effrontery in my presence to compare yourself with William Allen White.
Only in the sense that White stayed in Victoria, and I want to stay here and say what I want to say.
Such as what?
Well, I can't exactly put it into words, Mr. Whiteside. It'd sound like an awful lot of hooey, but the Journal's my father's paper. So it's sort of a sentimental point with me, the paper. I just want to carry on where he left off, that's all.
Ah, so you own the paper, eh?
That's right.
Then this terrifying editor, this dread journalistic apocalypse, is you yourself.
In a word, yes.
I see.
In the future, Sherry, please let me know when you don't want to talk to people. I'll usher them right in.
Young man, come over here. I suppose you've written that novel.
No, I've written that play.
Well, I don't want to read it. Ah, these old eyes spot a dish of goodies over there. Hand them to me, will you?
The trouble is, Mr. Whiteside, that your being in this town falls under the heading of news. Practically the biggest news since the Depression. I just got to get a story.
Pecan butternut fudge.
Oh my! You must be candy, Mr. Whiteside. It's very bad for you.
My great aunt Jennifer ate a whole box of candy every day of her life. She lived to be 102, and when she'd been dead for 3 days, she looked better than you do now. What were you saying, old fellow? You were about to say?
Well, I can at least report to my readers that chivalry is not yet dead.
We won't discuss it. Well, now that you've won me with your pretty ways, what would you like to know?
How about a brief talk on famous murders? You're an authority on murder as a fine art.
My dear boy, when I talk about murder, I get paid for it. I made more money out of the Snyder Gray case than the lawyers did, so don't expect to get it for nothing.
So then, what do you think of Mikaela? How long are you going to be here? Where are you going? Things like that.
Very well. A, Mikaela is a town of irresistible charm. B, I cannot wait to get out of it. And C, I'm going from here to Crockville for my semi-annual visit to the Crockville Home for Paroled Convicts, for which I've raised over $500,000 in the last 5 years. Have you ever been to Crockville, Jefferson?
No, I always meant to.
Well, as a newspaper man, you simply ought to go instead of wasting your time with me. It's only about 75 miles from here. Have you ever heard the story of how Crockville started?
No, I didn't.
Well, sit down, Jefferson, and make yourself comfortable. It is one of the most endearing and touching stories of our generation. One misty St. Valentine's Eve, the year was 1901, a little old lady who had given her name to an era, Victoria, lay dying in Windsor Castle. Maud Adams had not yet caused every young heart to swell as she tripped across the stage as Peter Pan. Irving Berlin had not yet written the first note of a ragtime rigadoon that was to set the nation's feet attacking. And Elias P. Crockville was just emerging from the state penitentiary. Destitute, embittered, cruel of heart, he wandered on the St. Valentine's Eve into a little church. But there was no godliness in his heart that night, no prayer upon his lips. For in the faltering twilight, Elias P. Crockville made his way toward the poor box. With callous fingers, he ripped open this poignant testimony to a simple people's faith. Greedily he clutched at the few pitiful coins within. And then, a child's wavering treble broke the twilight stillness. "Please, Mr. Man," said a little girl's voice, "won't you be my Valentine?" Elias P. Crockville turned And there before him stood a bewitching little creature of 5, her yellow curls cascading over her shoulders like a golden Niagara. In her tiny, outstretched hand, a humble valentine. In that one crystal moment, a sealed door was opened in the heart of Elias P. Crockfield, and in his mind was born an idea. 25 years later, 3,000 ruddy-cheeked convicts were again bowling on the broad lawns of Crockfield home, frolicking in the cool depths of its swimming pool, broadcasting with their own symphony orchestra from their own radio station. Elias P. Crockfield has long since gone to his maker. But the little girl of the golden curls, now grown to lovely womanhood, is known as the Angel of Crockfield, for she is the wife of the woman. And in the main hall of Crockfield, between a Rembrandt and an El Greco, there hangs in a simple little frame, a humble valentine.
And in the men's washroom every Christmas Eve, the ghost of Elias P. Crockfield appears in one of the booths. Will you sign this, please?
This aging debutante, Mr. Jefferson, I retain in my employ, only because she is the sole support of her two-headed brother.
I understand. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Whiteside. You've been very helpful. By the way, I'm a cribbage player if you need one while you're here.
Fine, how much can you afford to lose?
I usually win.
We won't discuss that. Come back at 8:30, we'll play three-handed with Elsie Dinsmore.
Shay!
Mets! Oh, Shay, that's incredible Fieldhouse. What are you doing here?
I explained, Sherry, but first I kiss my little Maggie.
Mets, darling, what a wonderful surprise!
Oh, Mets Jefferson, you are standing in the presence of Professor Adolph Metz, the world's greatest authority on insect life.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do? Well, Sherry?
Metz, stop looking at me adoringly and tell me why you're here.
You are sick, Sherry, so I have come to cheer you.
Jefferson, he lived for 2 years in a cave with nothing but plant lice. He rates 3 pages in the Encyclopedia Britannica. Don't you, my little hookworm?
Oh, please, Sherry, you embarrass me. Look, I have brought you a present to buy the Daisy House. Please. I said to my students, boys and girls, I want to give a present to my Sikh friend, Sheridan Whiteside. So, you know what we did? We made for you a community of Periplaneta Americana, commonly known as the American cockroach. Behold, Sherry, Roach City. Inside here are 10,000 cockroaches.
10,000? Sarah! Sarah, what do you think?
And in 1 week, if all goes well, there will be 50,000.
If all goes well, what could go wrong? They're in there, aren't they?
Quiet, please.
You can watch them, Sherry, as they live out their whole lives. Here is a maternity hospital. It is fascinating. They do everything that human beings do.
Well,
Please, Maggie, these are my cockroaches.
sorry.
Go ahead.
With these earphones, you listen to the mating calls. There are microphones down inside. Listen.
How long has this been going on?
Aha! Periplaneta Americana! There are cockroaches in this house!
I beg your pardon. I don't know who this man is, but I will not stand here and...
Then go upstairs. These are part of my luncheon guests. Metz, you're staying for the day, of course.
Oh, certainly!
Jefferson, stay for lunch.
What?
Maggie, tell them there'll be 2 more. Come right in, Behler. Good morning, gentlemen. Jefferson, here are the fruits of that humble valentine. These men, now serving the final months of their prison terms, have chosen to enter the ivy-covered walls of Crockfield. They have come here today to learn from me a little of its tradition. Gentlemen, I envy you your great adventure. You're Mickelson, aren't you? Butcher shot murder?
Yes, sir.
Thought I recognized you. The last one, Jefferson, is Henderson, the hatchet fiend. Always chop them up in a salad bowl, remember?
Oh, yes.
Lunch is ready, Mr. Whiteside.
Good, let's go right in.
Can I help you?
Well, thank you. We're having chicken livers tetrazzini and cherries jubilee for dessert. I hope every little tummy is a flutter of gastric juices. Oh, John, close the doors, will you? I don't want to